Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Moya K, Swedish Whiskey Girl, and today we are here with Dalmore 12. So this is of course a single malt from the Highlands here in Scotland, and it is bottled at 43% ABV, matured for 12 years in a mixture of American oak, American white oak casks and oloroso sherry casks, I believe. And Dalmore is of course one of those brands that a lot of people have seen or maybe heard about because of their iconic bottles with the white stag on them or the silver stag on them. And they are a brand with lots of history. One of the things with Dalmore is of course that it's probably the most associated with Richard Patterson, who is their master blender, and he had was it a week ago now, or a little bit longer perhaps, where he celebrated 50 years with the brand. And I mean, he's been in the industry for over 50 years and it's quite incredible. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and every time he's been very, very lovely. And he even slapped Cody and told him to get me orchids. So still very happy about that. But yeah, of course, congratulations to Richard. And yeah, I hope he'll continue to do some lovely things. I think he's moving on to, now he's not working with all the brands of White & Mackay, but now he's only working with the Dalmore. So we're gonna see what else he does. But let's have a little look on the nose. This is one that amazes me all the time, because every time I have a nose of it, it's just such a unique character. It's like oranges and like marmalade and like almost like a little bit milk chocolatey as well. It's very much that sherry influence that comes through, but without being sticky. And I would say there's quite a lot of sherry influence, but it's not too much. There's a soft oakiness there as well, but I would say it's mainly this kind of orange marmalade chocolatiness that is at the very front of it. Very ripe oranges, but also a little bit zesty. It's very much like a dessert, like an orange dessert. I just want to have Terry's chocolate oranges and then a Dalmore 12. Or maybe if you made like a chocolate mousse out of Terry's chocolate oranges and had it with a Dalmore, that'd be lovely. I think this is generally a great whiskey that goes really nicely with chocolates. I'm sure it would go great with cheese as well, but it would have to be something probably a little bit milder to go with the sweetness of the nose. I haven't tried Dalmore 12 in so long, so I'm quite intrigued to have a look on the palate. So let's have a little taste. Sláinte Skål. Quite dense on the palate. A slight dryness there, which you probably would expect since it's oloroso casks. But yeah, quite a mild, I don't want to say mild, but it's mild in the way that it's not punching you in the face, sherry, because sherry sometimes have a tendency to do that. It's still a lot of flavour without punching you in the face, but then you have that slight drying sensation, which mixes the kind of sherry, a little bit of that orange note, and a little bit chocolatey note with the oakiness. I would say it's more dominant chocolate on the finish. Like now, it almost feels like I've been eating milk chocolate, because that's the flavour memory I have in my mouth. But originally, it's the sherry notes and the orange that comes out. I think it's a good balance between being juicy and dry. I'm quite sensitive and quite picky when it comes to whiskies being too dry. I prefer them much juicier, but that's just my personal opinion. So when I get that dry note, and when I got it on the first sip on this, I was like, oh, it's dry. But now, sipping it, I think there's a good balance between the two. Because sometimes if you have it too juicy, then it's almost too easy drinking, or too, like, it washes over you almost too quickly. So the dry sensation almost makes the aromas cling to your palates a little bit more. So you want a balance between the two, because it's too dry, then you don't really taste a lot of it. You want a little bit of juiciness to get your like saliva production going, so you can actually like taste it a little bit more. It's much more elegant, I would say, on the nose than the palate. I mean, it is elegant on the palate because the flavor is kind of balanced, but it's more vibrant and alive, I would say. I can definitely see why Dalmore is such a popular choice with many, because I feel like this is a flavor profile that would go really well with a lot of people. But I would say if you have someone maybe in your life that wants to start drinking whiskey, but they're not too keen on this whiskey flavour and they think all whiskies taste the same, maybe try giving them a dram of the Dalmore 12 or another whiskey that you think would go really well with chocolates, and then have them taste them both. So have a little sip of the whiskey, then you have a bit of the chocolate, really kind of taste the chocolate and really let it coat your palate, and you try the whiskey again and see if there's any difference, because that's usually quite a good way for people to ease into whiskey, because if the chocolate really coats your palate, then the alcohol, you feel the strength of the alcohol less, and you can get the flavours out more. So yeah, I can imagine probably the whole Dalmore range going really well with chocolate. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that as a video as well. But yeah, I think it's good balance between being a little bit dry, a little bit juicy, orangey, soft oak, really soft oak, but enough oak, I think, to carry the flavours that, like the chocolatey, orangey, sherry notes. You have the oak to kind of carry it up, which also balances the flavour. Almost a touch of vanilla ice cream as well in the middle. Interesting. I mean, I think Dalmore 12 is a lovely whiskey. It's, I mean, fairly easygoing, but still has a lot of flavour. So it all depends on how you perceive easygoing. If you think easygoing is tastes not a lot, then I would still say that this tastes a lot, but it's easygoing in the way that it's a flavour that I think a lot of people could enjoy. And it sits at 43, so not too high, but still a little bit higher than 40, so yeah, depends what you like. But I would love to hear your opinion. Have you tried the Dalmore 12? Have you tried any of the other range? I mean, they have, what, the 18, the 21, the 25, the King Alexander and the star constellations, and yeah, some really incredible whiskies there. I think a lot of people also turn to Dalmore when they want a gift because the bottles look so nice. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. And of course, if you like what I'm doing here on YouTube and my other social channels, I'd be absolutely over the moon if you consider using my affiliate links the next time you're shopping with either Master Malt, the Whisky Exchange, or the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. All the information is of course in the description here below, as well as links to my website, my Instagram, my Teespring shop, and my Patreon if you're curious about that. And of course, if you're interested in seeing a little bit more behind the scenes and exclusive content, then check out my Patreon. As always, a massive thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon. I'm so grateful you want to continue to support me on my whiskey journey. Oh, and don't forget to leave a little thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. But I hope you've all had an absolutely wonderful day. Sláinte Skål.